What's going on, everybody? This is Lady Luck Club. Okay, so there is an issue that Cafe of Knowledge brought up in a video, very good video she did on her channel, regarding your favorite survivor, Vivian, as well as Alicia Nicole. Went to the meeting in Thornton Township, and for some reason, Keith Fathead thought he could just, I guess, have people kicked out over a press pass. I'm not sure why constitutional rights are being violated all over the place, but Super Stupid has people thinking that somehow laws don't exist. And as opposed to reading the laws and looking things up, people are either acting out of impulse, listening to her, or acting or responding out of fear because of her. And it's got to stop. So I went and I looked at the live stream that they both did, both Vivian and Alicia did, to figure out exactly what was going on. This isn't Cafe of Knowledge video, but you guys should check out her video on her channel she did covering this subject. But I have the clips from Vivian's live stream itself, as well as Alicia Nicole's video, her live stream they did at the last meeting. And I have some, of course, case law and what does the freedom of press mean, and yada, yada, yada. And a surprise at the end, just to bring it all home. But let's get to the video footage, and then we'll discuss the freedom of the press and how that plays into a press pass and the rights that you have as an independent journalist producing any digital content, and what the law states on what we're allowed to be able to do when it comes to having access to public forums and meetings, especially within our own government. So let's get to, first we're going to do Vivian's video and then get to Alicia's video.
Now they're saying that you gotta have a press pass to come inside, which they didn't make me have a press pass last time.
This is crazy. You don't need one.
Hey, y'all. So they saying that they're not letting people in. That's not mainstream media. Because they don't want us to, I guess, film what's going on. But I'm sure they're going to let her people in. So they not going to let me in.
So crazy.
It's okay. No, I know. I get it. Hello. I'm talking about hello. Hey, y'all. So I'm guessing she coming today. She got Keith fat ass at the door, but she won't let nobody else come up.
Who said it's not me?
It's okay though.
Who is she? I wonder
I
who
bet
she
you
was
next
talking
meeting
to.
I have a press
It's not me.
pass. And then they can't say nothing. But it's alright. I'm working on that. Somebody sent me the link on how to get one. I'm gonna go downstairs with everybody else.
You should not have had to do that.
Let's see how this crappy ass meeting go. Wait a minute, who's at the door? Keith.
Keith Price?
Yeah. I still be able to stream it from the screen. I just wonder how the sound system.
He doesn't get to dictate.
Keith
Price does not get to dictate any resident, any citizen going into a meeting, a public meeting. He doesn't get to dictate that. And even if it was just restricted to, the press, obviously he needs to read the First Amendment. And I'm going to pull it up, but it's just baffling to me how someone like him gets to decide something like this against constitutional law that he is not fully aware or seem to be learned of. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he just asked security for a wand at the door upstairs.
He doesn't get to search anybody
Where the
either.
media is actually coming in at. Tell me, I need a wand. What you need a wand for? Who you about to wand, sir?
Going at the back door.
They don't need wands at all. Why are you frisking
He doesn't have the authority to frisk someone. He's not security.
Thank you. Hey. How much you got to wand somebody?
What were the trustees at with all this? What were the trustees at with this when this is happening here? Because I can't fathom how they are not aware of constitutional laws. Or do they have codified regulations over there at Thornton Township? Because I know they don't have it at Village of Dalton. That came up in Lori Lightfoot's report. They do not have codified procedures of any sort at the Village of Dalton. Do they have any codified procedures or regulations at Thornton Township? Because that should be one of them. He's not security. He's not certified or licensed to do any of that. So what gives him the authority to think he could warn and frisk people? Are you kidding? Ugh.
You know I don't talk to her.
Ooh, sweet Jesus.
I'm pressed. They know.
I'm sorry?
I said I'm pressed.
This is Alicia's video.
Sure.
Press from who?
Press. Independent journalist. She's
Okay,
a member of
here's
the
the
press. The end.
Main media upstairs.
Okay.
Regular media
That's
down.
me.
Yep. Yes, you can.
Hey. I'm doing well. Hi, Keith Price.
What's up?
How you doing?
You got a press badge?
Yes, I do.
Let me see.
He doesn't need to see it. He does not need to see it. This is disgusting. He does not need to see it. He will not be the person to even regulate who comes in and out of that building. That is not his function. Absolutely egregious. Is he the town hall administrator here? Is he the owner of the building or the property? No? Oh, okay. So no. You walk past him and pretend like he's not sitting there like the Big Mac that he is. And you keep living. What the hell is going on?
Don't tell me you're using Ford. You got Ford.
What? Quit playing. What you security?
This can't be real.
Politics.
It's a press pass.
Bye. Go in.
You
Yes,
can
it
go in.
is.
You can go in. That's
Yes,
not
you
a
can.
pass.
Get the hell out of here. So you can determine what's a real pass.
See, that's it.
She didn't even need one. How about that?
I showed you one.
She showed him a pass. It's not for him to determine whether it's a real or a fake press pass or anything. As a matter of fact, if you're an independent journalist, you can create your own press pass. Did you know that? Yeah. You can create your own. As a matter of fact, you don't need one to be considered a member of the press. According to constitutional law, dear God, I'm going to finish this video so we can get to that. Whoo, good grief. The things that happen.
They're trying to make me go out. They're saying I don't have a press pass.
None of
Like
them
they
are qualified to
follow rules.
review to see if it's even. First of all, you don't need it. We just clarify that. You don't need it. Independent journalists,
See,
you don't
he's
need it.
mad. He's over there mad. He got a lot of stuff. I'll wait for the appropriate people to tell me.
No one is there appropriate to tell you that you can and cannot be there as a member of the press. No one.
Who? I don't care what Keith says. That's too bad. That's
can
too
go to
bad.
hell.
Keith is not security. Keith is not in charge of this
He's not
town.
anybody. No one can
I
tell you
just
you can
hope
leave.
so. I'm not going anywhere because Keith said it.
Or anyone said it. Or anyone. Either as an independent journalist, you're a member of the press.
He told me, Keith told me I gotta leave.
Jesus Christ. Who told him he could do that again?
Are you okay? I'm doing well, thank you. Yes.
You have a press pass.
I I do.
Why do people asking about that? Why do people keep asking?
Well, he's saying it's not valid, but who's he to say that? Who's he to enforce
Who's
anything?
any of them
He's
to
not
say if it's
security.
valid or not?
He's not over this township, so. And I do have a press pass. I'm sorry, it's not to his liking. But where is there a statute on what it should look like?
There you go,
And
Alicia.
you know this is not against you, Stephanie. No, I know. I know, but I really
You
want
talking
him
to
to
Stephanie?
come with receipts if he's saying that this is not.
Stephanie Wiedemann, you have got to understand when certain things should and should not be done. Period. Okay, and this is a matter of Googling, if you need a press pass as a member of the press. And what does that mean? They would not be able to show a law that you must have a press pass because for independent journalists, it doesn't exist. And the constitutional law does not even require for you to have one. So no one will be able to show you that. No one can tell you whether it's real or fake. None of them are, trained specialists can say whether or not you have an authentic press pass or not. None of them are qualified to do that. None of them. None of them. Not the trustees, not Keith Chicken Nugget, none of them. What is this? What is this obsession with a press pass? Like they all could tell, as if any one of them could look at it and say, "Oh yeah, this is an authentic press pass." You could create your own, and you still will not be in violation of the U.S. Constitution as a member of the press. Well, are you kidding me?
Valid.
Come on now.
Where the
Why
statute
do they
is
not
on
have
what's valid and what's
regulations on who can warn someone down?
That's all. Okay. Thank you.
Like I don't need it. Bye.
That's my press pass.
She had a press pass.
Now
So
they're saying
she was able to show them something, but it wasn't required. Let's be honest. It's not required. And let's go over the information, see why it's not required and why they don't, why they're not qualified to do anything. And I hope the board of trustees don't sit here and cower down to Keith McChicken Nugget and Super Stupid, who's halfway out the door. I hope they don't do that, because if I can recall, Super Stupid and Kamal showed up at the same meeting through a back door. They didn't even go through metal detectors. Why is Kamal still going to that building? Better question. He was terminated. He no longer works there. They've taken his badge, his credentials, and everything else. Why is he still permitted to come to that building if that's her place of employment? Normally, in your place of employment, you can't just have your boyfriend just sitting up in your office. So why does he get to have direct access to a back door and not be required to go through a metal detector? The board of trustees need to grow a spine. You've got to grow a spine. You cannot be cowardly to these people, or else they will run all over you. None of the trustees are qualified to look at a press pass to determine, oh yeah, this is a legitimate press pass based on what? Who issues press passes? When you're an independent journalist, everyone is considered to be a member of the press under the First Amendment. It's ridiculous. Having a press pass is like a nicety. It's like putting a cherry on top. But it's not required to go to a public town hall meeting as a resident and as a citizen to have a press pass. It is not. So let's take a look at the information. All right. Freedom Forum, freedom of the press. What is freedom of the press? Freedom of the press protects the right to spread thoughts, ideas, news, and views by publishing them. Press freedom means the government can't prevent information from being published in most cases. It is closely tied to freedom of speech. What is press under the First Amendment? Typically, press means professional journalists and news organizations, but press freedom protects everyone. It is a limit on the government, not a freedom that only some people enjoy. The government does not get to say who is or is not a journalist. There's no official or government certification, licensing, or approval process to qualify as a journalist. Once again, the government does not get to say who is or is not a journalist. Neither does Keith McChickenhead, super stupid, or any trustee on any board, whether it be at Thornton Township or the Village of Dalton. In general, courts have defined press to include all publishers. Publishers create and edit content and then spread it. So that's what press is seen as in the court of law, is one who publishes, whether it be creating, editing content, and then spreading that information out to the public. Broadcasts, cable stations, newspapers, magazines, and digital publications all enjoy freedom of the press. So when you're editing videos and giving commentary and providing information, reporting on the news of what's going on in your town, or you're going to town hall meetings and you're recording it, and then you're creating or editing digital content such as the videos or audios, that is called publication. You are considered a publisher now. And that is what the court defines to be press. So this is under the First Amendment, a constitutional law. And the United States of America has been doing this since the U.S. Constitution has been put into place and signed by a bunch of white men that decided that we should, as a country, exist as a free republic, democratic nation. You're welcome. Oh my God. So today, social media sites are a common source of news. Such sites allow users to post and share content. The sites also have terms of service that allow them to ban certain speakers or delete individual posts. Social media companies can make these decisions because they have their own First Amendment rights, allowing them to make their own decisions about what content to allow or prohibit on their platform. That's basically what that pertains to. Whether the government can regulate how social media sites moderate content users post is an issue being debated in today's courts, because Facebook and all these other people are TikTok, and then they just banned TikTok and then they brought it back for reasons. Okay, so yeah, bigger issue going on when you're talking about large platforms. But YouTube is a platform where you share information and content, where you can make posts and do videos and commentary. Mostly digital, but social media is kind of our digital method of publication, of press now. And a related issue, but technically not a First Amendment one, is whether these sites are publishers or not. Since users, not the sites themselves, publish content, the sites typically do not select which content is posted. Courts have said they are not publishers. Instead, they fall under Federal Communication Decency Act Section 230 if it says that if a user publishes illegal content on a social media platform, the user and not the social media platform will typically be held responsible. News organizations cannot be forced to publish certain content or be prevented from publishing what they want. In most cases, they have a First Amendment right to refuse to publish letters to the editor and ads. Because they are privately owned, with editors who control content, they are free to promote whatever view they wish. Let's say you decide, all right, I don't want to use YouTube anymore because that's a company. I want to make my own website. Create your own URL, your own link, and then you start, like mom and pop type newspapers. You start getting your own stories, take your own photos, you do your own publication on your website, on your URL that you own. You have sole control and responsibility of your website, and therefore you get to publish that directly because it is your website, your platform you're publishing this information on. However, freedom of the press protects publishing news, information, and opinions. The government cannot ban or punish publishing something that reflects a certain viewpoint or that could be biased or unethical. Such content can only be regulated if it meets specific high standards to lose protection. So I'm just kind of going to read over some of this stuff here. You guys can go on freedomforum.org if you want to get more information. And then you can always just Google, the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. That gives you kind of an idea of some of the stipulations and nuances of this recording in public, because this is mainly what this is about. Journalists gather news by observing, talking to people, taking photos, and recording videos. Journalists aren't guaranteed special access, but they have the same rights and restrictions in public as anyone. The courts have generally stood behind journalists who act reasonably in trying to get information. There is nothing wrong with residents going to a town hall meeting to hear how their government is operating and recording the town hall meeting. That is reasonable to allow that meeting to be occurred where they get to participate in how their government is conducting business. A judge said this to Super Stupid and Max Solomon when they took the Dalton District Park to court over basically the same thing. She tried to shut down something because she wasn't invited. And then tried to say, you're not letting the people decide. Well, you're not letting the people come in and participate in a town hall meeting that they have every right to participate in as residents, as citizens. And then you have Chicken McNugget over there trying to evict people out once again because he can't tell what an authentic press pass looks like, because that's none of his business. Because the law does not say that you have to have one. Now, if you want to go, let's say, to the White House or to the Senate or to your state capitol or to a federal courthouse and you want to record, those places require, for safety measures, they do require you have a press pass. This is a town hall meeting where residents have the right to be able to observe, to be able to give comment, to be able to see what their government is doing, to ask questions, freedom of expression, free speech, not just comments. You should have the right to ask questions because that's part of freedom of speech and expression and freedom of the press. We have these laws in place and no one wants to read them over there at Thornton Township. Is that what I'm hearing? Come on, you got a whole trustee board. There's more of you all than it is of stupid and thunkhead and Kamal. And why is Kamal once again having access to the building where he's not going through metal detectors? I don't get to take some boyfriend of mine to my job and he just sit in my office with me. That's not how the hell that works. You don't work here. What you doing here? You ain't got no business here. Well, get the hell out. Why is he still having access to the building? What are the policies on that? What are the procedures on this? Once you terminate an employee, he does not get to enjoy the same privilege of going to the supervisor's office and just camping out and roaming the building when he's been terminated. Are you kidding? He doesn't get access to restricted areas anymore. I don't give a damn who he's dating. Why do you don't bend laws for one and not everybody else? You don't see other people with their spouses and kids up in there and just roaming free through Thornton Township like that while they at work or allegedly supposed to be at work. Why does Kamal get to do that? He doesn't. This is where the trustees need to start growing a spine and draw the line. Because if you allow him to do it, then it's expected that you allow all her goons to come up there and do the same thing when they don't work there. Draw the line, trustees. Utilize the law. You have it on your side. People who are independent journalists at that should not have to present a press pass to you. It's not needed. They're independent journalists. They're publishing digital material. They're reporting on what's going on in this town hall during this public forum, during this meeting. They're citizens and they're residences and they have the right to observe. Are you kidding? You have to actually, you have to present a case that's reasonable when you're talking about a safety measure, a safety or a security issue here. Because Alicia and Vivian aren't security threats. They have not posed any threat. But when you're talking about the press, that's not, the legitimate press up here, down here. All of us are legitimate. Go sit down. Are you kidding me? We have laws. This law does not distinguish who's legitimate and who's fake. It doesn't. And I literally showed that. And I'm going to pull up case law. Because for some reason, I guess, I don't expect Super Stupid to read, but my God, I do expect the trustees to be more knowledgeable. And if you don't understand, just stand there and Google it right quick. Let me see if you need a press pass. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Because if not, you're starting off already on the wrong foot here. And you're allowing things to occur with one person, and then you want to sit and ask for a press pass from someone who doesn't even need one. But yet you won't force an employee to leave the damn building or to stay out of the restricted areas that he might need a badge to access. This is a local government town hall, after all. I'm sure you can't just wander through the whole building if you wanted to. That's not how that works. So how is he accessing certain inaccessible areas when he no longer works there and he doesn't have a badge? Don't allow him to do it. Make his ass go through the metal detectors. Tell him to go down to the bottom floor. He wait in the damn area where he can see the meeting on the big screen. He doesn't get the same privileges that he had anymore. He doesn't work there anymore. No one cares who his girlfriend is. Apply the laws across the board. Bottom line. All right. Because this really irritates me to see just a complete, violation of law going on. And then I don't want to say ignorance because ignorance and stupidity is two different things to me. Ignorance is a lack of knowledge. So when there's a level of ignorance being displayed where no one is even trying to take the time to read this stuff, Alicia's like, I know I have a press pass. And they're like, oh, well, it's fake. Well, I don't care. I don't even need this, but I have it. This is a nicety. You're welcome. Everybody's asking, they looking at it, trying to figure it out because she doesn't even need it. And it's opposed to just Googling the information and looking it up. Keith ain't gonna do none of that crap because he's just, barking for super stupid. And I would expect the trustees to do that. And they didn't do it. So let's just do better next time to the trustees. I don't expect Keith to do anything. Just sit there and marinate in your juices in your body. Oh, Lord. Just want to try. The courts have recognized under the First Amendment that journalists should be left alone by the police so long as they do not interfere with police activity or risk their own personal safety. So there was no risk to either Vivian or Alicia's personal safety. And they weren't bothering the police bothering them. And was it a police officer or security guard? No, whoever it was, they were bothering them. So, no, courts have recognized, the courts have recognized under the First Amendment that journalists should be left alone. U.S. Supreme Court has said that recording video in public places can be protected if the recorder professional journalist or otherwise has a message and an audience to receive it. Vivian and Alicia has a message, that being their commentary and the meeting information has been displayed, and they have an audience that receives it. All of us. So there you go. When courts don't all agree on is whether there's always a right to record police activity, but there was no police activity. It was a town hall meeting, or whether laws or policies can limit the circumstances in which recording can take place. So, you don't walk around recording kids or anything like that. That would just be gross and inappropriate no matter how you put it. They're trying to record a meeting, a town hall meeting, a public forum. So let's keep these things in perspective here. All right. So that's pretty much all I'm going to. You guys can, like I said, go on the freedomforum.com freedomforum.org. Look at freedom of the press. This information here can kind of help you to understand why, when I see this kind of blatant violation of constitutional rights, it's irritating. It's irritating. So let's get to the next one. Like I said, I have case law. Mortgage Specialist Inc. versus Implode Explode Heavy Industries Incorporated. It's a New Hampshire Supreme Court case in which the mortgage specialist, a mortgage lender, sought to obtain the identity of an anonymous source who provided Explode Heavy Industries, a website monitoring risky lenders with a confidential document detailing mortgage specialist loan practices. Basically, it gets down to where the mortgage specialist disputed Implode's status as a news organization, claiming that it should not be afforded the rights of a news organization under the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution and in Part 1, Article 22 of the New Hampshire Constitution. The resulting court decision found that internet news outlets should be treated like print media and receive the same legal privileges granted to traditional journalists. I repeat, the resulting court decision, a whole ass judge ruled that internet news outlets should be treated like print media and receive the same legal privileges granted to traditional journalists. Similarly, the court found that the publication of the confidential documents could not be restrained and that the identity of the anonymous poster was protected so long as mortgage specialists could not prove harm. This case set a precedent for protecting the legal rights of online media and reiterates the high legal hurdle required to restrict the free flow of information. So now you have case law. I've given you the definition of the freedom of the press. You got an understanding of that. You don't need a press pass. It is not required. There's no certifications or training or anything that's regulated by the government that requires you to have it. Now, Alicia had a press pass. Vivian said, I think, in her video that she was going to get one. But should she choose not to do that? There's nothing Keith the Hamburglar can do about it. In the event that he tries to harass anyone ever again about a damn press pass, that no one should be telling him to check because he's not qualified to do that. There's always what's called a cease and desist letter that can be written, because that can be considered harassing, especially when you're talking about infringing upon the constitutional rights of someone else. And you can show that it's consistent. There's some pattern of behavior with this. And it's hard to ignore because they're constantly recording it. Like they captured in their camera in the videos at this town hall meeting of this harassing behavior between the security guard and Keith McBigmac. And if this pattern continues, the court defines harassment to be repeated pattern of behavior that is intended to be harassing to someone else. Him just saying that's not legitimate, the judge would say, who cares what you think? Case dismissed, you're an idiot. If you want to just give a heads up and say, listen, you're going to either go sit your ass down somewhere, bro, and shut the hell up. And if you want to control anybody, go control your friend Super Stupid. Grow a spine and go control her ass. But when it comes down to it, you do not override constitutional law. Neither does she or the trustees or anyone else. Period. This is not me getting mad or angry at trustees. And I find Keith to be deplorable and despicable. But if you're not even trying to get an understanding of the law that you claim to know, then you're going to continue to do dumb things that's going to land you in a court of law where you really are going to be showing how ignorant you truly are. And you're not going to win. Because you're not going to win this. This is very plain and simple, black and white. And there is precedence to show that this court system that we have is upholding the rule of law. You do not get to override that. So, Alicia, your press pass is fine. If you don't have it, you can still go in and record as a member of the press. Vivian, if you decide you want to get one, great. If not, you still get to go in the meeting and record as a member of the press. And if you guys just want to prove a point, pull up this case law and make them stand there and read it. And then you walk your ass in and go sit down, take your seats, get comfortable, while they're standing there reading case law that they probably will not understand either. Trying to figure out, okay, well, What does it have to do with a press pass? Nothing. They don't need one. So, all right. Hold on. What is this, Lady Luck? I'm glad you asked. Well, as you can see, it says, thank you. Your submission has been recorded. As a part of the initiative of being transparent and accountable at the White House, they're allowing anybody that considers themselves to be independent journalists, members of the press, especially when you're reporting on information, regardless of what form, whether you're doing a newspaper, if it's just all digital, they're allowing people to request a White House press pass. That would be one of the places you need a press pass for, right? But they're not restricting. They're not saying, oh, no, only if you work with a news station. No. Independent journalists, like myself, member of the press. So that's what I did. I requested to get a White House press pass. Now, it says it takes about 3 to 4 days. I guess they got to go through, check and see if you have some publications or something. I have a lot of content on my channel. I've had my channel going since 2022. And I've done some research reporting. As an independent journalist, I've researched on fraudulent scams and activity, and researched on laws and different topics regarding our government, and not necessarily overly political, but just, things regarding the law, reading case law and court pleadings and documents. I mean, a lot of my channel is about, informative information and research and reporting, looking at fraudulent activity, people who go out and start Ponzi schemes, $2.1 billion Ponzi schemes. And, of course, super stupid. She's not going to be the last corrupt politician I report on. She just so happens to be one of them. But I want to be able to have the opportunity to dive more into the research reporting that I do. I don't call it investigative because I don't really go out and just do investigations, but I do go out and research. And I look up information. I read and sit down and try to make sense of it so that when I explain it to you all, when I present it to you all, you guys can kind of see some continuity and it can make sense. And I try to, yes, I do keep explaining it simpler because there are people who watch my videos might not know much of anything about a constitutional law. Might not even know how to cite case law. So sometimes you got to understand your audience, and it's not to be insulting to anyone. If you know how to read case law, great. But there are some who don't. So I got a comment on, you think you're talking to third graders? Well, it depends. Are we talking about super stupid and her goons? Because they're not past the first grade. So they're not even in first grade. So who are we talking about here? It depends on my audience in this video. I mean, and then of course I post up other content. I've done music reactions and things of that nature. It's just difficult to do those because that music is so copyrighted. You can't do anything with it. If it's not getting blocked, it's definitely demonetized, but it most times get blocked. And it takes time and resources. It takes, having some equipment and things to have some really good content for you guys to enjoy. So, I'm trying to upgrade. I need to get headphones. It's some things I just need to have to make the content better. And I hope by the time I get some response back from the White House, I will be in a position to at least get some headphones and a better device, and to set up the streaming thing with StreamYard. It's really irritating because they force you to almost get an account and pay for stuff with them, but I'll figure it out. In the meantime, this is how I have to do it. Do pre-recorded videos and upload it. All right. That's all I got. I'll let you guys know what they say from the White House. But either way, I submitted it. I've been honored and blessed to have a ticket from the White House to go to the inauguration of President Biden. I still have that ticket where I was, invited to go to the inauguration of the president. But it was the weather. I think it was snowing or something. But I still have that ticket. Yep. I took pictures of it and I preserved it. It's still in this envelope that it came in. Very beautiful, thick carded envelope with the ticket to go to the inauguration of a president. I don't care who it is. That would just, to me, I would love to see that. I would love to be able to go to the White House and be able to sit down and ask questions as a member of the press. So, you know, I don't sit here and worry about Democrat versus Republican. When you stand before God, God is not going to ask you if you're a Democrat or Republican. But he will ask if you're sitting here honoring the law and honoring the Bible. And I want to be able to say, yes, I honor both. You know, I walked in obedience. And I want to have the opportunity to do some things beyond, you know, what I've been doing. I want to be able to branch out more. But trust me, when people ask to help or for help from, you know, for me to shed light, whatever I can do on my channel, I have a little over 25,000 supporters, and I bless God for every single last one of them, because that was something I was able to get to in 5 months of having the channel. That was a blessing for me. I didn't expect that at all. I've heard YouTubers say it took me 2 years to get 10,000 subs. You know, it took me 5 months to get 20,000. So that's a blessing. And it might not always work out for people, but you love and appreciate your base and the people that support you, and, you know, show them respect and dignity and represent them well. I'm not perfect, but I try my best. And I hope I can represent the Lady Luck Club and have the honor to go to the White House, to sit in a press conference, and to be able to just kind of witness that and be able to report back to the Lady Luck Club information that's going on. So hopefully I do get the press pass, and then I can start branching out. But when I decide one day to come up to Dalton and do a reporting and go into a town hall meeting of some sort, or to the village of Dalton or Thornton Township and sit in and observe a meeting, I may or may not have a press pass, and there's nothing you can do about it under law, and they'll be fine. All right, that's all I got. I appreciate you all checking out my video. Please make sure you check out the websites. Check out Alicia and Vivian's channels for the full videos. They have some great commentary as well, great content. Check out Cafe of Knowledge. She is hilarious. And other great YouTubers out there that are just, you know, doing some great content. And you guys continue to stay safe. Lady, look out. Deuces.